Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Hi, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Barefoot Poetry in the Park. I forgot my tripod, so I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to walk around Leg Lake here in El Monte. And as I talk about the poem and analyze the various stanzas and give you my interpretation, you could also enjoy the scenery in a somewhat avant-garde video of mine. Speaking of avant-garde, if you're still with me after that very theatrical, powerful performance, the silliness which started this video off, thank you for watching, thank you for staying with me. I never know how I'm going to read a poem, and when I started reading this one, I was serious at first, but then I started to play with it, and I started to get really gay and wild, and I don't know, that just sort of was what came out. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it didn't upset your poetic sensitivities too much. In any case, let's talk about the poem. So the first stanza is: two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, the imagery of traveling in a yellow wood obviously is very beautiful and serene. Coming up to two paths that equally tempt you to travel down them. What to do? A fork in the road. The quintessential fork in the road. Not knowing whether to go left or right. How do you proceed? Well, a lot of times with our eyes. So Robert Frost goes ahead and he looks down one as far as he could to where it bent in the undergrowth. He wants to see, and sometimes we look with our eyes, but we also look with our mind. Hi, there's a little squirrel right there. Little guy. He likes poetry. Oh my God, he's right up on my foot. Anyways, we also can perceive or look down a path with our imagination. So we may not be in a yellow wood in life, but we may be at a fork in the road in our future, where we don't know if we're going to go left or right, and we can proceed by making the best choice by looking down and trying to imagine and trying to project ourselves into the future down one of these paths and trying to imagine what it's going to be like. Now he looks down one road as far as he could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then it continues on the next stanza. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. So he looked down the first, and it looked nice, but then he looked at the other, and he took that. Why? Because it was grassy and wanted wear. So he saw a need to be fulfilled. The grass invited him. And I think, metaphorically speaking, or going to a real life circumstance, we often choose a path that calls to us. There's something that beckons to us. We don't necessarily go in blindly. There is some attractor for the imagery in the poem. It's the grass that comes into his mind or his psyche and says, wear me, trod on me. For us, it could be people. It could be a role to fulfill. It could be a place that needs us, a person that needs us, a situation that we feel we would be appreciated. So then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the greater claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them just about the same. So even though he's drawn to that path, it's not necessarily more inviting than the other. What's inviting to him is a path, I think we can already tell, that is not too worn. So he's looking to travel a path that isn't well traveled. I think that's another theme that is probably one of the bigger themes of this poem. Oh, this camera's heavy. And that is, I'm going to switch hands, and that is, I'm going into a wood right now. The theme of, as we walk through life, as we proceed and try to choose the direction, there are some people, and I would say a poet like Robert Frost, and poets in general, artists, philosophers, thinkers, experimental types. They don't go down the path that most people go down. They, in order to discover a new scientific theorem, in order to write an epic poem, in order to create a novel, an original work of art, you have to go down paths and avenues in life, in thinking, in expression that is different and that is virgin, that is not trod all over, right? It makes no sense if I want to be a great writer to write another Romeo and Juliet. I have to write something new. And so that search for originality, that beckoning, usually will take us down untrodden paths. So let's go to the next stanza. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So, I think I read the last two stanzas, so that's 2 for 1. So he starts off, and both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. So, this imagery of both temptations. Oh no, look! There's leaves, virgin leaves, no step has been on them. Both this path and that path, equally inviting for a person who wants to go forth in life upon an adventure, right? An adventure is an embarkation upon a road where you do not know where it's going to go. That's the definition of an adventure. Life is an adventure. Even actually, and this is the funny thing, even if you pick the most conventional choices in life, it will still be an adventure, because no matter how regimented or stable you want your life to be, life is an adventure. So he has these options, and he's so torn. And he says, well, you know what, Tiz? So I saved the other one for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Sometimes we have to make a choice, right? I mean, he stood at that crossroads for a long time, yet he made a choice. It was a very difficult choice. A lot of times, we may spend a long time trying to decide what to do in life, whether to go into business or into the arts, whether to marry or stay a bachelor, whether to buy a dog or a cat, to live in here or over there. There's equally good options, many good options in life. But eventually we have to make a choice if we're going to live. We can't stay forever at the crossroads. And he tells himself, well, I'll go back there and take that other path another day. That's our hope. That's our wish. We hope those other choices will be waiting for us. We may not be so lucky, because knowing life, way leads on to way. So I go down this path, and then all of a sudden, my adventure takes another turn. I meet this person. I move into this house. I take this new opportunity. And suddenly, I am traveling down life so far away from this road, I'm never going to get back here. So, he doubted if he'll ever come back. You never know, but you can't count on it. I shall be telling this with a smile, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So for him, although it's a hard choice, making that decision, it's a story. It's a story of his life. He's going to be telling ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. So this is a life moment, right? We don't tell stories of every day of our life, because some days are humdrum and routine. But the days we made those big choices, those milestones, those redirections of our life, those are the stories that we tell, and those are the stories we perk our ears up to listen to. And is he happy with his choice? Well, what does he say at the very end? Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And that has made all the difference. And I believe that he is happy with his choice, happy with his destiny. And, of course, all humans are filled with some regret, some things we might have wished that we had done differently, some choices that may not have gone our way. But you can also look at those choices as being nutritive and supporting the beauty that exists in our life. I think regret is one of those things that you're almost, you want everything. Like I'm married, and I'm really happy to be married, and I'm expecting my first child in a month from now. I went down a road to unite my life with another human, beautiful woman, and we're bringing another into this world. And it could be when the baby's crying and my wife is telling me something that I don't want to hear, that I'll wish I had gone down another road. But that would be to be a disservice to the choice I made, because I love my life, I love my wife, and I love my baby. my baby-to-be. So I think sometimes regret is when we sort of miss the beauty in our life. I believe where we are in life, we are here for a purpose. We are, or not even a purpose, but part of our nature to be where we are. If you follow your nature, if you follow, and we all do in our own way, our emotions, our mind, our relations, our entanglements guide us and mold us, and even the hard parts of our life can end up being some of the more important parts and the more building up aspects of who we are and how we become who we are. Well, Robert Frost says that the road he took made all the difference. And I think it's important for everyone to reflect on our lives and see, how did we get here? How did I get barefoot on this lake? I never planned to be doing poetry videos. I might have thought I would have stayed in Japan as a playboy bachelor like I was, but I ended up marrying a Japanese woman and coming back to America to start a family, and now I'm doing these YouTube videos, and it's crazy, but here I am. There's an idea called amor fati. Nietzsche sort of made this term popular, and it's the idea that you wouldn't change anything in your life. Amor fati means love of fate. And this guy's got a lot to say. They're doing their little geese poetry. In any case, I hope that you love your fate, and I hope that you enjoyed this poem and this analysis while being not my usual. It was nice to walk along this park with you and show you this beautiful lake. It is Leg Lake in El Monte, Whittier Narrows, Southern California, on a beautiful, sunny winter day. My name is Ryan Freeman. If you like this video, please click like or subscribe. And if not, no worries. All right, guys, I will see you next time.